Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I should talk.
It's nice to see all of you. One of these days we'll meet in person. That's a promise. That's not a threat. So just briefly, this is totally selfish. I just wanted to see all of you. I just want to make sure. Oh, there's Christy. Everybody's in who wants to be in. You guys beat me today. That is the fastest everyone's gotten logged in, I think, ever. Oh, and we are recording, so I have that for the folks who are not here. First of all, I just want to thank everybody. You have been so amazingly flexible in helping to cover things that have needed to be covered. I had no idea what this what this week was going to look like and feel like. There have been some amazing moments where you all came together as a team and have made it so we get to have school. And I am so appreciative of everyone's flexibility and interest in making it so our kiddos can have as normal a schedule as possible. I think my favorite quote of the week has come from Charles and Shannon's class. Kendra was in teaching the end of a language arts lesson, and I was the next person in, and he was exasperated. And he said, "Do you know how many people have been in this room today?" And I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "You're so lucky that all of these people care so much about you." And then he said about Kendra, "I've seen her twice." I said, "And double the joy." So it's not my favorite thing to do with a primary class, but that was the best that we could come up with that day, was to really piecemeal together a day for them. And I think that they were no worse for the wear, having about 6 of us in and out on Monday. Fortunately, we've had some more regular subs. Some of our subs were having some of the same issues we were. They're not immune. So while we're kind of on that COVID conversation, please be sure that you've got your kids spread out as much as you can spread them out. And please take care of yourselves in the fact that trying to be conscious of not being 3 feet within one of your kiddos for more than 15 minutes. You are all movers and shakers in your classrooms, but at the same time, I want you to make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Dawn and I had a conversation at about 7:30 this morning about how she is more worried about the kids who we have not identified rather than the kids that we have identified or have been identified by a parent, because this strain seems to, in some cases, not even have any symptoms. So her suggestion to all of you is just pretend they're all COVID positive. And how would you stay clear of them? You might want to ramp up the hand washing this week, but just make sure you're taking care of yourselves as well as the other kids in the room. Some of you have a little more space than you usually do, so spread them out. Even if it's not conducive to your favorite kind of teaching, let's just keep you guys safe. We did have a concern yesterday about an adult who was in the building who was talking about her COVID positiveness. And so I just want you to know that I did my very best to address that. And she is not here today. I don't know if it was related to my conversation yesterday, but we have to be able to trust each other. And although I didn't love starting to work the Friday and Saturday before we came back, I love the fact that you all, anybody who had a question, comment, concern, I've heard, contacting me made me feel more confident coming in on Monday. You know me, I check email all the time. I'm a nerd, and I would rather know that you have a question that you need to have satisfied than come in and have a big surprise, or have you come in and then realize you probably shouldn't be here. We have to be able to trust each other about that. I trust you. And I assume, just because so many of you did contact me, that you are comfortable and confident that I am going to react in a positive way if you have a question or concern about your well-being, be it COVID, be it emotional, be it your kids are sick, be it whatever it is. Please know that even though part of my brain might say, oh crap, we probably don't have coverage, the rest of my brain is saying, please take care of yourselves. Please take care of your families. Your families come first. So just know that. I have been so impressed with the quality of what you all are sending home with these kids. I might have a parent that I see almost every morning to give work to. And what I see in the vestibule that you're sending home is phenomenal. Thank you so much, because I know you're doing a lot of work to prepare things to make it so those kids who are Zooming now are getting a quality school experience from home. I just really appreciate, like, what I've seen has just been amazing. I do feel like I owe you an apology for the district's quality of communication with you about the change in the CDC rules. I did send something out because I felt like you needed to know, based on the number of people I was talking to over the weekend. It is uncomfortable to think about sending a 7-year-old back to school after 5 days, assuming that they are going to wear their mask properly. If you get an email from Dawn says, Susie Q is coming back after 5 days on Thursday, assuming she's going to wear her mask, and you know darn well that's not going to work, contact her and say, I'm not comfortable with that. She is not a good mask wearer. She often has it under her chin. Just communicate. She and I also talked about that. I was able to intercept one of those over the break and just say, I'm not comfortable with that student coming back after 5 days. We can do that. We can say that we know. There's a 5th grader, for example, that if he was out and they said, we're going to have him come back after 5 days, I would say, please no. I would approach it in a polite way, but we know who our kids are who are challenged wearing the masks. We are grateful that they are wearing them, but if they are someone who's coming back after that 5-day and you're uncomfortable, just communicate to me, communicate to Dawn. Dawn is kind, thoughtful, caring, wants us to be healthy. So that. Oh, I wrote myself a note that says after 5. I have no idea what I was writing. I got interrupted, which is, how things roll here. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns as we are now in Wednesday that feels like the Wednesday before break, not the Wednesday after break? I know we're all keeping our fingers crossed that Samantha makes it until, or that baby Crone makes it until the due date.
Lori, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just based on a couple of teachers and what has happened this week, if someone in our family or we feel ill and we are going to get a COVID test, do you want us to text you or email you and Dawn immediately? How do you want us to handle that?
Well, Dawn is the priority.
Okay.
And if you don't include me on an email or a text to Dawn, she will include me. So if you're kind of panicked and you're like, what do I do? Just make sure you're communicating with Dawn, because she's going to know. I don't know all the right questions to ask you.
Okay.
So she will ask you all the right questions and determine whether or not your situation, and she's a nurse. So there's that whole HIPAA thing. So I would feel most confident sharing anything with Dawn. And then if she felt like you needed to stay home, if you wouldn't mind letting me know, Susan, you need to do jumping jacks. If you wouldn't mind letting me know, that would be great, because Chris and I started coverage for Monday at about noon on Sunday. Just because we knew kind of what was the snowball that was happening, and just tried to get it so our kids had a great day of school on Monday. So yeah,
Thank you.
Any question, Dawn, or if you're not comfortable with Dawn, me, and then I'm going to call Dawn and say, okay, I've got this question. We have teachers out right now who have not tested positive, they've tested negative, but they've got kids who are in a tough situation. And so again, not everybody who is out is COVID positive. They are probably 50% of what we're dealing with is people trying to take care of their families. I know I had something really cool that said after 5. If you can think of something I would have wanted to tell you after 5, I don't know. Oh, one more thing, the budget. So I did a walkthrough and created a spreadsheet that some of you have added to. Thank you so much. You know the nuances of your spaces, all of that stuff. And I know that, thank you so much for advocating for Shannon, for example. There were a couple things about her area that I didn't know that we were able to get on the list, even though she has not been at school. Anything about technology, make sure, don't tell Ed I said this, over ask. And then let me know what you really need, but over ask, so that when we get to the point where someone says you need to reduce your budget, I can reduce the budget without actually affecting what you really wanted. And then if there are any other needs, so I'm looking at, I did all of the, like, what walls need to be painted, what corridor needs the blue accent this year, plaster falling down in the 2nd grade hallway, ceiling tiles that need to be replaced. Some of you hopefully have gotten some ceiling tiles replaced now. Joe, do you have new ceiling tiles yet? Oh. I was told they were done. Like I wasn't gonna be able to gawk down and notice that there was still a hole in your ceiling. So anyway, if you can think of anything, if you want to brainstorm, I am going to be asking Rick. I do have a quasi design for an outside classroom. And so I'm going to, even though I don't have the grant ready to go, I'm going to get Rick to get us some quotes. So because we are the 2nd outdoor classroom, the district has to absorb some of that. And the really cool thing that I totally forgot about is that Veda Brown's dad works at Beatty, and I'm going to try and rope Beatty kids into doing some of the construction into our outdoor classroom project. So I'm going to be meeting with him about my dream, and Maureen has a point.
He is awesome. I've worked with him in the past, and his wife is also a teacher there. She does design.
Ooh.
So you might be able to rope both of them in. They're both phenomenal.
Well, we're doing them a solid. There are 2 high school students who are doing a study, and one of them is Jaslyn Krill's big brother. And they want to work with our 2nd grade team on a project, and both of the Brown parents are somehow involved. So I thought we would do we'd be willing to help first and then say, oh, we have this project. So yeah, we're working on that. So that's great news. I've only had one conversation with him, and that was when we were putting the cogs in the studio up on the wall. So thank you for all of your hard work, your energy. I know these days are exhausting. I know that every day I want to go home and take a shower because I want to wash off the day. And but balance is my word. If you're interested in contributing, Paige contributed a really cool word for the word of the year. I always find that when I start setting resolutions, I get too narrow. So balance affects so much of what I do here and what I do at home that I'm sticking with the word balance. And if you'd like to contribute to that, otherwise I'm going to say goodbye. And
can I piggyback real quick on the technology request?
oh, absolutely.
Aaron Mesner's been contacting me, and he's trying to put something together about our smart boards and the age of them and how they're not going to support the newer technology in the near future. He just asked me if there's anyone, a lot of the new ones that would be replacing them or more of the TV version, like you've seen in the Maker Studio and library. But he feels like there is still some need for the smart board type version as well. So he just asked me if there's anyone that completely wants to stick with a smart board and has no interest in the TV type version, just email me and I'll put you on a small list. If not, if you're fine with the newer TV version and things like that, there's no need to email. So just if you feel very strongly that you need to keep a smart board style version in your room.
So I might have already said that I know that the 4th and 5th grade math and science people probably were not going to jump at the chance of having the TV. I know, Stephanie, I've seen you in action with that smart board, so I couldn't imagine that you were going to want to get, but we will then, it's not that you won't get, it's that your replacement would be smart, that kind of smart technology, not a television. Thanks, Ray.
Maureen, maybe you can speak to this, but the TVs are not as interactive for
They are
students,
not.
right?
No,
Like they can't
no.
manipulate. Right. Okay.
No, the students can project their devices on the smart TV. So that's a really cool feature. But as far as you like doing math problems, doing any writing samples, you can't go up and write on it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good questions, you guys. So any ideas that you have, send them my direction. I would rather have a budget that truly reflects what we want rather than just taking what we had last year and moving it ahead. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I haven't heard the good or the bad of the coming budget. I always feel like it's bad news. So, but now we get to dream. It's January. We get to dream a little dream, and then we'll get to reality in March.
Lori, I have a quick question.
Mhm.
So if we are Zooming with someone who is in quarantine and
Mhm.
they do not log into the Zoom, is that considered being absent, or like, what do we do about that?
Well, they're already absent
Okay.
because they're quarantined. Why don't you send a well-written email to the parent and copy me on it? And then I would be able to follow up and say, try and figure out what's wrong. Are they having trouble with the technology, or are they just too busy to log their kid in? How can we support getting them online?
Okay.
Good question. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day.